Hey guys, welcome back once again to Bobcat Corner. This is episode number 27. I'm Stephen Vibb, back again talking about Ohio Bobcats football. Now, yeah, we're definitely getting into an interesting part of the regular season. Currently, as it stands right now, the Ohio Bobcats are 4-2, 4 wins, 2 losses, and they're going into a very interesting and a very important week, very important game coming up on the schedule here. And it's not just any game. It is a typical regular season game, but it's not just any game. It's a rivalry game. It's a rivalry game because these two teams that I'm going to be talking about, these two teams have a long and storied history together, playing games against each other. And there's just an added significance to this when I'm talking about these two teams, the Ohio Bobcats and the Miami of Ohio Redhawks. This rivalry is called the Battle of the Bricks. This game has been played for almost 100 years, almost, and this is going to be like the 100th matchup, the 100th matchup overall between the Bobcats and the Redhawks. It's very significant, and there is something to gain out of winning this game, especially for the Bobcats in their situation right now. And I just want to just start this off by saying, yeah, you can't overlook any opponent. Before the season started, I really believed that the Miami Ohio Redhawks were going to be much further along than they actually are right now. The Redhawks sit at 2-4. So in many cases they have performed under expectations that they just haven't reached yet. Whereas the Bobcats, they're staying true to what they are. They've had issues, but overall they've managed to navigate through those issues to get 4 wins out of 6 games. For the Redhawks, they need to start getting going. And when you get into a game like this, the Battle of the Bricks, this could really start defining the character of a team, whether you're the Bobcats or the Redhawks. So October 19th is going to be very significant. Kickoff time is going to be around 3:30 p.m. Saturday, October 19th. It's going to be on ESPN Plus. Woohoo. And yeah, let's just get right to it. I want to talk about the opponent, the Redhawks. Even though they're having like a rough season right now at 2-4, they are nonetheless the defending MAC conference champions, Mid America Conference champions. And even though they're having a even though the Redhawks are having a tough time right now, again, you cannot overlook any opponent. And especially in a rivalry game like this, you just can't overlook them. No matter how good or how bad your opponent has been doing so far this year, the fact of the matter is that this is the kind of game that Miami of Ohio always, and I mean always, gets up for. So I wouldn't put it past them to play one of their best games of their season right here against Ohio. So with that in mind, let's get to the opponent, the Miami of Ohio Redhawks. I'm just going to cover the stats of their last game that they played against the Eastern Michigan Eagles that occurred back on the 12th of October. I'm just going to give you some basic stats. Miami of Ohio, if I could check the box score real fast. Miami, if you review that game, Miami just took over the game in the fourth quarter with consecutive scores. They beat Eastern Michigan easily, 38-14. And yeah, that really explains just how effective Miami of Ohio can be. They just if you watch that game, actually, you review the game, you review the stats, Miami of Ohio can just score very quickly. They're an up tempo kind of team on offense. And I'm going to get to that in a minute, but let's just go over the stats for the Miami of Ohio Redhawks. Quarterback Brett Gabbert, he's no slouch at QB. Brett Gabbert, against Eastern Michigan, Gabbert completed 10 of 13 passes for 222 yards and threw count them, 4 touchdown passes. So he can get in there in the end zone with his arm. And they have a Miami of Ohio has a couple of very talented running backs, starting with Keon Mosey, 16 rushes for 100 yards against Eastern Michigan, and then Jordan Brunson, running back. He had 6 rushes for 65 yards, but he scored 2 touchdowns on the ground against Eastern Michigan. And when it comes to the air for wide receivers slash tight ends, you have a wide cast of characters that can score points for you. And wide receiver Reggie Virgil, first of all, 3 receptions for 113 yards and 2 touchdowns against Eastern Michigan. And then you have also another wide receiver like Cole Weaver, 1 reception, but for 24 yards, 1 touchdown. So he got in the end zone too. And also tight end Connor Briggs. He got in the end zone with a quick 5 yard touchdown reception. Now, and on defense, Miami has demonstrated lately that they can turn it up and that they can clamp down and just shut out opponents late in games. Case in point, the game against Eastern Michigan. Rewatch that game between Miami and Eastern Michigan, and you'll know exactly what I mean. And if that's going to be the case, coming up to their game against Ohio, then if you're the Bobcats, you have to have an answer for that. You have to be able to navigate through this defensive front that Miami of Ohio is going to put out there. I'm just saying. Now, up-tempo offense for the Redhawks. I'd have to say, by all accounts, it sounds like that they're going to be very similar to how we played against Syracuse in the season opener. If that's any clue or hint as to what Miami of Ohio could possibly do, at least a MAC equivalent to Syracuse, let's put it that way. And still dangerous, in my opinion, when you put that on the field on offense. So the Bobcats better be ready for that fast pace when the Redhawks switch it into high gear, because that's what Syracuse did in game 1 of this regular season. And Ohio was not able to adjust in time for that. But hopefully here we will be. We got to be ready for that switch and pace. And then I've mentioned this throughout the entire regular season for the Bobcats, but when we're on offense, the Bobcats have got to take better care of the football. They can't keep fumbling the football. They can't keep dropping the ball. They have to protect that football when they're on the run, or in Parker Navarro's case, when he's passing or when he's running, he has to protect the football better. It's non-negotiable. They got to do better protecting the football, because many times I've seen where opponents can get to a Bobcat player and force a fumble. It cannot keep happening at the frequency that's been happening this year. So if we take better care of the football going forward, starting with this game against Miami of Ohio, we're going to be fine. That's just it. I just think we're going to be fine. And really, when it's a rivalry game like this, Battle of the Bricks, I showed you the stats about this rivalry. Miami of Ohio has the edge in the all-time series, and they know that. And it's something that, it's not really a factor game by game, because, you always have new players coming and going. But once you get really entrenched with that, and you know what's at stake for Bobcats players, when they win the Battle of the Bricks, they get a coffee mug or any kind of mug that just shows the stats and the information and details of that game that they just won against the Redhawks, which I think is a cool feature. But yeah, just something for you guys to know out there. And recently, in his press conference interview that he always does week by week, head coach Tim Albin of the Bobcats, he basically put it very clear. He made it very clear for guys here that the quality is there in the Miami Redhawks, even though the record of 2-4 may not show that. And really, the 2-4 record could very well be misleading for the Redhawks, because they played a really tough schedule up to this point. They played Notre Dame, for example. Miami of Ohio Redhawks. Let me check their schedule, since I'm curious. Give me 1 minute. I'm gonna get there. The schedule for the Miami Redhawks. Yeah, they went to Notre Dame, They went to Notre Dame, obviously lost 28-3 on September 21st. And the week before that, they had a home game against the Cincinnati Bearcats, lost that game 27-16. They started the season with a 3-game losing streak, but they have recovered since for the most part, at least in my opinion, because I think Miami now knows what they're about. They beat UMass week 4, after their bye week, 23-20, September 28th. October 5th, they lost to Toledo 30-20. I was not expecting that. And then, of course, the game against Eastern Michigan, like I just said, beat them 38-14. So I guess it's just a matter of which Miami Redhawks team is going to show up in this game. Keep in mind, this game is going to be in Oxford, Ohio. It's going to be in the backyard of Miami of Ohio. So the Bobcats are traveling over there in state near the Cincinnati area, and the Bobcats better be ready. Rivalry games just have that extra juice in them. They always have, and they always will in college football. It's a shame that many rivalry games are just going away because of conference realignment. That's for another topic for another time, but it's a fact. A lot of rivalries are just going away because of conference realignment. And it's sad, but it's thankful for me. I'm thankful to know that this game right here, the Battle of the Bricks, this rivalry is being preserved by all intents and purposes, and really, I don't see it going away anytime soon. It's a fun rivalry. It may not be the most, you know, it may not be the most covered rivalry as far as like media goes. ESPN, Fox, all that. They may not talk about this rivalry if at all, but this is a fun rivalry. If you get to study this rivalry, the Battle of the Bricks, you'll get to know a lot about these two schools, these two football programs, and what they bring to the table. It's fun. That's all it is. It's fun. And that's what game of football is. It's just fun. And I'm looking forward to this game. Definitely going to have Bobcat Corner live this Saturday night to cover this, no matter what happens, whether Bobcats win or lose. You obviously hope for the best for the Bobcats. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. This is going to be a really important game, guys. I can't put enough emphasis on this. This is going to be a very important game. I don't know what to expect. Really, I don't know what to expect with this game. Like I said, which Miami Redhawks team is going to show up in this game? Is it going to be the team that lost 3 in a row to start the season, or is it going to be this Miami Redhawks team that's been finding their footing lately, especially with this last game against Eastern Michigan? Are we going to get that team instead? Don't know. But yeah, just let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. This is Stephen Vitt reporting again. What do you guys think of the images that I've been making lately, especially this one, Battle of the Bricks? Been doing a little bit more graphic designs lately, so yeah, just having fun with this. Why not? So yeah, I hope you guys having a good day today or night, whenever you're seeing this. So yeah, I'll be sure to provide more information about college football related news. And until then, I'll see you guys later. Take care.